Hey, what's up, good people? Yeah, this shit talking at its best. We back at it again. Got my man, brother Daryl with me again this week, standing there. And I want to tell everybody, I've been getting a little comments. You know, we've been going back and forth. I had a couple of brothers, Mayweather fans, wanted to tell me that Mayweather could do whatever he want to do with his money. You know, like like I didn't say he couldn't, but we went back and forth. I think they got the picture before we got off, but I appreciate that. Go ahead, give all the comments you can give. You know, just hit the subscribe button. Do the subscribe button for me, and then shoot a comment in, and I'll get back at you. But we gonna get to kicking it this time. We gonna get to kicking it. I wanna start this thing. My man Daryl, I don't know if I mentioned last time, he a student of Farrakhan, and my man, one of our brothers, sent out a little clip yesterday, I think, of Minister Farrakhan saying something. So I want to speak on that real quick right now. So Minister Farrakhan said that Trump, the Trump administration was good for us. So the Trump administration was good for us, and that because of the reasons that he goes after FBI, Justice Department, and all these things that have been detrimental to us through the years that, you know, look at us sideways and everything. So Trump being a different type of president, he's going after these people. So I heard Mr. Farrakhan, but respectfully to Minister Farrakhan, I still disagree. And I'm gonna say this to say that when Trump does these things, I don't feel that they're helping us any. We had Trump administration in office for 4 years. I didn't feel any different from the way being treated as a black person as anybody else, as when any other president was in the office. I remember we still having unarmed black men getting killed in the street by police officers. I never heard Trump say anything negative towards that. He's always backed the police in these incidents. The George Floyd incident, he stuck by the police on that, and everybody seeing what happened. When we march and protest for those incidents, that when we get injustice during his administration, he called the marchers and the protesters thugs and criminals. Told the police they should shoot, I guess, tear gas and all these things. So treated the same way as when any other president was in that office. So I can't say that everything Minister Farrakhan said was true, but it's good for us. I don't see any different with him in office or any other president that's been in office for us. So the saying, and I know my man brother Daryl here has, that I'm pretty sure the minister speaks out on, an enemy of my enemy is a friend of me. Well, I believe that saying is, as Daryl said, I think last week, he has a 85 15% on when the media tries to uh, show someone in a bad light, that 85% of the time that person is a decent person. The media's trying to make them look bad, and I know that's his percentage, 85 to 15. Well, on that saying that a friend of mine, enemy of my enemy is a friend of me, I think that's probably true 70% of the time, 75% of the time. Because I can't say that every time that happens. Because if the enemy of your enemy is a snake, then that snake will turn around and bite you. So that doesn't work all the time, especially for me. So I'm not going to say that those are facts right there. So, and I do call Donald Trump a snake type guy. He's a snake type person. Many people that he has been involved with, his so-called friends, former associates, former attorneys, once he is no longer friends with them, they the worst person in the world. They're cowards and all these other things he likes to call people. So with a guy like that, I can never be a friend of his, because soon as I don't go along with something he's saying or doing, I'm the bad guy. So no, y'all can miss me on that one, Mr. Farrakhan. I can't have a friend be my friend.
Okay. I mean, that's respectable. I mean, and I would have it no other way, and neither would Minister Farrakhan.
Yeah, and
You
I would like to see Minister Farrakhan said this during his administration. I really would like to see if Minister Farrakhan really feels the same way about that
well,
saying.
first and foremost, see, we got to deal with the way, or put in context what Minister Farrakhan said. And what we have to do as a people is we have to mature a little bit, man. And when I say mature, I mean it's just like when we brought up, or you brought up Floyd. And I mean, as a boxer, I mess with Floyd, but I made a distinction between Floyd the boxer and Floyd the man. And I stated why I had a problem with Floyd the man and some of the things that he has said and done that I am aware of. And I mean, you're aware of some of his spending and his recklessness when it comes to money. And I have to agree with that, knowing and seeing what I see as it relates to the conditions of our people, the conditions of, our communities, man.
And let me just state again, it's money. It is his money, and he can do whatever he want to do with it. And that's not what I was saying. And I just want to put that out there so you can also know. And to piggy on that kind of what I'm saying, Javante Davis just bought the block that he grew up from in Baltimore to do some rebuilding and things of that nature with his money. Javante Davis did. So that's all I'm saying. If you can spend or throw away money that freely that you do, I would think you want to put some of it
I
back
mean,
into the community.
he may have done some things that we may not be aware of.
And that's
I
what,
was just aware of that one specific incident that was going on at the time
and
in
I
Flint,
thought
Michigan.
and I thought about that also, Daryl. That maybe he has done things that he don't talk about or don't show. But I mean, why show all the other stuff? I would like you to show the people that what you're doing to the community, how you help bringing up the community, instead of showing me your blame. But that's just my thing. But go ahead, baby.
Yeah, yeah. So, in saying that and making that distinction and that separation, I'm saying we have to be able to do, when I say mature, we have to mature. So, we have to be able to separate um, the individual. I mean, in this case, I mean, brought up Trump. Me, I mean, I'm not a follower of Trump. I'm not a staunch supporter of Trump. I just support and I like some of his policies. So Trump as an individual, Trump as a man, I don't really know Trump as an individual, Trump as a man. But I'm talking about Trump as a president and some of the things that he has done and some of the policies that he's expressed. I mean, namely, I name one, which is immigration. I mean, that me personally, I mean, I have an issue with illegal immigration, and it's only from the perspective of what I learned of a particular plan that the rulers of this world had. So, I mean, from that perspective, I mean, in terms of them stating that they wanted to use illegal immigration to take first world countries down to third world status. And I see that happening before my very eyes, and I can't deny it. We can't deny it. We see this going on. I mean, not only here, it's going on throughout the world. I watch world news. I'm watching in Indonesia. I see a brother in Indonesia. They're having an immigration problem in Indonesia. I didn't know that. I hear the brother say, man, look, we don't have nothing against the immigrants coming in, but we can't handle these immigrants coming in. We are struggling as a people. We can't handle any more people. So I know that language. I know that language from Ralph Epperson. I know that language from Eustace Mullins, who said that the rulers of this world wanted to allow illegal immigrants into these first world countries and to take them down to third world status by putting a strain on their infrastructure and their economies. That's why I sent you the video on the brothers and sisters in New York, the brothers and sisters in Chicago, these sanctuary cities, and they're complaining that these immigrants are what? Getting the benefits that they are supposed to be getting as taxpayers.
But and I understand that, and that's in your teachings and the learnings that you have. You see a little further than the average American. I believe their reasoning is different from your reasoning, so I can accept your reasoning if that's what's happening, and I can understand. But I know our average Americans are not looking that far ahead. They're looking at just what they see on the base and what they're told about these immigrants and all that stuff. They don't see the bigger picture. So I can't stand with black people saying immigrants shouldn't listen. This is the same thing they say about us. The same thing they say about us, that we go back to Africa. Y'all ain't that's what y'all see. So I can't stand. So that's who I'm talking to, the average American. I'm talking to the average American who don't know the stuff that's going on behind their back. And so this is why, and this is what I want to get into. I want to say first, Daryl, that I missed on this point.
Before you, because I didn't really finish addressing the issue that you have with Minister Farrakhan and his comment.
But this, okay, I want you to get back. That's where I'm going back to. I want to say one more thing. So when I said what Minister Farrakhan said, what he said, I looked at a couple of the comments that was made. And this one comment hit me very hard and tell me, and that's what it tells me. This guy said, that's the first thing he said I agree with. This white guy said, the first thing he said I agree with. Now, Mr. Farrakhan been talking for years, talking about injustice, racial inequality, how blacks are treated in America. But this guy said, that's the first thing he said that I agree with. Because he added Trump in there. Because Trump, and see, that's what happens. That's what happens. You get these ride-ons now. Oh, I listen to Minister Farrakhan. Oh, none of that other stuff. None of that other stuff was important what he was saying.
Well, no. See, as I was making the example in terms of what I heard when I heard the brother say in Indonesia, man, I don't have nothing against these immigrants, but man, look, we can't handle any more immigrants in here. We struggle. So again, I'm talking about. I heard something. This is in relation to what you just said. The guy heard. See, the guy never listened to Minister Farrakhan. So now Minister Farrakhan is stating something that resonates with him. So it's an idea. It's an idea because this is all about ideas, Tom, at the end of the day. And this is what we need to understand. See, I'm talking about us as black people, have attached ourselves to a political ideology, a political philosophy, which is just so happen to be Democrats. You have some that have attached themselves to a political ideology called Republican or conservatives. So we have attached ourselves to these ideas, right? And individuals come and they espouse these ideas. So whatever side we represent, I mean, because y'all got an issue with Fox News, I got an issue with mainstream media, period. But I got an issue with CNN, MSNBC. Okay. Because the idea, see, but they on a particular side of the spectrum where they support a certain ideology, which is liberalism, which is Democrats. Okay. Fox is on the other side.
Correct.
So, but we got to listen to both.
Okay.
Both sides to form a synthesis.
Somewhere in the middle. To get somewhere in the middle,
exactly.
But see, when you brought Fox News up, and this is one of the reasons, and I know you say you listen to them, and I'm not gonna say they both do both the same thing. They're gonna make their side look better in both areas. But this is exactly why I say
no. Fox is more racist.
Well, okay.
Outwardly.
Okay, outwardly. You're right. Because true that. That's true. And I guess that's good. And I say this, I always say, I think racists should be racist. I like to know. I should let. Your restaurant, if you racist in your restaurant, I like to know that. So I don't come to your restaurant. You could be racist, right. But anyway. So I'm gonna say the Fox thing that they do. I'm gonna bring up a point that when Kanye said George Bush don't like black people, Fox said he's crazy. He needs medication. He's a wacko. Nobody's listening to Kanye. Kanye put that MAGA hat on and told Trump, "You like my father." Right. See, Kanye got it. Kanye knows what he's talking about. He's something. See, you right. See,
he's supporting that ideology.
Right. That's it. And that's what I'm saying. That's the problem I have with these people. You support whatever somebody is on your side. That's the Trump move. As long as you with me, we can ride this. We can ride it. You can ride with me. And that's what Trump. Now, Trump has a problem with Kanye also because they have a problem with each other. So he's not the great man anymore that he was. I have a problem with those type of people.
Philosophically, I mean, they don't share the same ideals or ideas anymore. You
can't switch up that sword, girl. That's what I say. People, you ain't solid. If you ain't solid, I can't deal with you. I can't you can't be with me if you're not solid. So if you can't stand
when you say that an individual is not solid, right? Mm-hmm. That's based on what?
That's based on who the person is.
No,
and always being who you are. Always being who you are, the same person all the time.
No, more than anything is based on your perception.
No, not my
It's based on your perception. Because that person, I may come like, damn, man, that joke, all right.
What joke you would be saying?
I mean, it depends on what you're talking about. I'm not
saying with solid.
You want to be more specific. I guess you want to deal with Trump. If you want to be more specific. So I'm saying, if you want to be more specific.
If you want to use him as how we can weigh this.
And I'm still on the subject of explaining what Minister Farrakhan
I understood.
is supportive of.
I know what he's supportive of. I know what he's supportive of. He's supportive of the way Trump goes after these organizations that's been wrong for us.
Right, that have traditionally been our enemies. Mm-hmm. So the CIA has traditionally been an enemy to black people.
True that.
We see Snowfall. We watch that as entertainment, but there's a lot of truth in Snowfall. There's some factual data in Snowfall. And what we went through in the 80s during the crack epidemic, it's basically
Iran-Contra, all that stuff.
Exactly. So there's Snowfall. It's in a form of entertainment, and we watch it and we feel. I can't watch it because it's painful for me because we lived through it.
Right.
So and then knowing the facts of it and knowing the truth of it, I know it's not entertainment. They basically showing us what they did to us.
Facts.
So when I see this joker going at the CIA, and the CIA going at him, I'm like,
And I understand.
They need to be exposed.
I understand.
The FBI needs to be exposed.
I know they do. They need to be exposed for their crookedness. But at the same time, he doesn't say this on our behalf. Anyway,
who don't say it on our behalf?
Trump.
No. I'm not looking at the facts. See, I'm looking at the policy itself. I'm looking at the policy. What does the policy do? I can't. You said it the other day. You asked this question. What can we do to affect the change on these new world order people?
Right.
See, nah, I can't do it. But that policy does something. their policy lends or put meat on the bone in terms of when you hear somebody like Minister Farrakhan, who has been saying the American government is bringing these drugs and guns into the black communities. Minister Farrakhan has been saying that for years.
Mm-hmm. True that.
For years. So then you get Gary Webb and the San Jose Mercury newspaper who published a series of articles detailing what the minister has been saying. Nobody told the minister.
Was that the reporter
that everything that he's been saying? Yes, indeed. The American government is bringing drugs into the black community.
Yeah, I think everybody knows that now.
But they know it now.
Yeah.
But that's my point is, before anybody was saying it on a national level, Minister Farrakhan was saying.
True that. True that. But this is what I'm saying. You saying the guy that I said I finally agree with something you said that I said that. You said, well, he hasn't been listening for.
What?
He listened.
Right. So
he's heard. He's heard.
No,
but
no,
he
no,
heard
no,
something
no,
he liked this time.
He hasn't heard. He didn't. I'm gonna tell you why he hasn't heard.
Why he hasn't heard?
Because mainstream media don't play the minister in its entirety. They use sound bites. They use what they want to use, like you just said, to support their position.
True that.
So, and they don't let you listen to Minister Farrakhan.
But how you know we haven't seen him in the clip? How you know we haven't seen him in something that was put out? Because you said he heard the idea. He heard that the minister espoused. No,
that he agreed with.
He said this is the first thing he said that I agree with.
This is the first thing that he said.
That
but what are the other things that he didn't agree with? Because
he didn't agree with nothing. He's telling you. He's telling you if he heard anything else Farrakhan said, he didn't agree with it.
Well, no, he said that's the first thing that he's heard.
He said that's the
but
only.
My thing is, what have most people heard of Minister Farrakhan from mainstream media? From mainstream media, what you hear from and about Minister Farrakhan, what? He's a racist. He's anti-Semitic. True that. So, it could have been based upon that because that's all you're going to get from mainstream media.
Okay.
As it relates. No, I can't say exactly nothing.
Right.
I'm just addressing something that you said. And I'm just giving offering a perspective on what the dude may have said.
Okay,
I can't say emphatically.
All I know is what he said. Yeah. All I know is exactly what he said or wrote in his comment. Right. That's all I know. Yeah. That's the first thing.
So that resonated with him because that's something that he believed. And
no.
Only
thing he believed in that statement, and I'm gonna take my common sense going to override a lot of books, spots, and all that stuff. God is giving me common sense. Everybody don't use it though. It's a lot of people don't use it, but I use mine to my utmost ability. So the common sense of me going to override anybody telling me anything that don't make it sound right to me.
That's not wise though.
Okay, it's gotten me.
That's not wise, bro.
It's gotten me to my life where I'm at. That I'm bringing my life. I'm good.
Yes, you've done well for yourself.
I'm good where I'm at. I'm good. I could be doing better. Could be doing worse. But I'm saying with what I've gotten with my common sense, I'm gonna keep riding with it right now.
I'm saying, if it's been working for you, that's good.
Yes, sir.
But what I'm gonna say, or offer to maybe enhance what you've been using or doing is to broaden it. That's all I'm asking you.
Yeah.
You can say
what I do broaden it. I listen to everybody.
And that's why.
I listen to everybody, and then I take in from my comments what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to let go. So I listen to Minister. I've learned so much over the years from Minister Farrakhan. Listen to him. I've listened to him. He broke my eyes up around when I was 17, 18 years old about why we are in the hood doing what we do. I never thought about it till I heard Minister Farrakhan saying why we were in the situation that we were in. So I listen to everybody that has something to say. It's me and my common sense what I'm going to take and retain. So that's what I'm saying. I'm going to keep riding with my common sense because I'm going to take in anything somebody wants to give me, but you got to have it locked in that I say, okay, I see where they're coming from. So we all good with that.
Yeah. Now, we always have to be open.
Oh yeah,
You
definitely,
know,
definitely. You can always learn.
two different
You learn
perspectives.
something, and I believe everything. I learn something different every day.
Oh,
I'm never
absolutely.
saying that I know. I don't know everything.
Oh,
I
no,
have
sir.
to take it in.
No,
I
sir.
have to take it in, and I
Right.
gotta listen. So
Right.
yeah, I definitely know. But I'm just saying this has been working for me. The way that I've been
Right.
running and moving, that's been
Yeah.
working for me. But I've
Yeah.
learned from many of people that said many of things, and it's made me think, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, as I was saying, we have to be able to separate. I mean, because with this whole Trump thing, you know, and our discussions over the years, you know, I mean, I don't care as many times as I've said, man, look, man, you know I didn't vote. You know, I'm not only our conversation, but other black people who I've talked to who um, have disagreed with me about my so-called supporting Trump. You know, I mean, I got a cousin, man. She told me one day, uh, she was asking me, we was at a wedding. She was like, man, send me such and such pictures or whatever, right? So I'm like, man, I'm sending the pictures to you or whatever. But she wasn't getting the pictures. So she said, oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot I blocked you for that Trump stuff. You put up there. I'm like, what? You blocked me? She said, something you put up there about Trump, I blocked you. I didn't want to hear that stuff. So I'm like, good gracious, man. So, I mean, I'm saying that to say, man, just the magnitude, man, and the separation because of political ideologies. You know, I mean, I'm not supporting. I mean,
Daryl, you got to understand who you're talking to, though. When you do your thing, you like you say, you have the studies. You've got the knowledge deeper than the average American. So when you come at them in a way that you come at them about these things, they see what they see verbatim, straightforward what they see. So I don't know how you. When I guess when we first, you probably had me sideways for a minute saying, "Huh, you do?" But I understand where you're coming from with your Trump, the way you feel about the Trump situation. But it took a minute for me. It took a minute for me
about the policies.
Yeah.
I like that language. Better, man, as opposed to. I mean, because that's how people look at it, man. You know, it's about the policies, man. It's not that. I mean, Joe Biden. You know.
But see,
Joe Biden as a man, maybe he's okay. But Joe Biden as a president, man, you know, I just don't mess with him, man, because of some of his policies. Some of his policies that ill affected us as a people. I don't
mess with him either, Daryl. But let me say, since we go, the policy. One of the policies I know you have a problem with, or things that happened, was when Joe Biden was in Congress, and he helped sign the bill for the
Congress or the Senate.
He was with the Senate, but all together.
Yeah.
All together. So he signed, but it wasn't only Joe Biden. It took a vote. It's
right.
many people in there. It's many people in there.
Him and his advisors crafted the crime.
But crafted, okay, and let's say that, okay, fine. But for me, I have no problem with that. Because at the time, the crime bill. I have no problem with it. At the time of the crime bill, crime was rampant. Crime was crazy, out of control.
Absolutely.
Out of control. If you remember, we were city under siege at that time. DC was called city under siege at that time. So they crafted this thing together to stop, to hope, bring crime down. But it was going to affect the black community.
No. They didn't do that.
What they do?
To bring crime down, because they created the situation for the crime. Okay. I mean, that's when we get back to the CIA.
Okay.
They introduced the crack cocaine into our community. They introduced the guns into our community.
Okay.
They sold that's what the whole thing was about.
Okay, but at the same time, Daryl.
So, but then hold up. But the architects the prison industrial complex knew beforehand that they was about to reap the benefits of the atmosphere that they created, the culture that they created.
Okay, they did do that there, and it's a free strike rule, right?
That was one of the things that came out of the crime bill. That was one of the policies.
You had 3 strikes that was going to send you to prison for a long time. And all I'm saying is that some stuff we got to take accountable for ourselves. Because as I said, we had a short conversation. I didn't get a strike.
Right.
I didn't get a strike. I don't know if you got one, did.
That's a blessing.
Yeah,
well,
let me finish, bro. The strikes,
go ahead.
Okay? So we got to take some account. We didn't want. This is what I was going to go. And no, I didn't stay on the push. So you might say that, oh, well, you probably was good, chilling in the... No, I was in. No, I'm not. I'm talking to my audience now.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking to my audience. Somebody said, "Well, I guess you was just on the couch, on porch all the time." My brothers. I was out there. I was in all the spots, doing all the stuff with all the people. You know what I'm saying? But I was smart. I said it was one thing I wasn't going to do because I know where it was going to send me. I know where I was going to wind up at. I knew where I was going to lead me. If it wouldn't lead me there, it was going to lead me dead. So I made a decision that I wasn't going to do that because I knew where it was heading me to. And more of our brothers could have did the same thing. Now, some of our brothers, and I'm very pleased that some of my brothers went in and came back out and they're living comfortable lives or good lives and got themselves together, where some of that stuff hurt them. But I'm just saying, we got to that time, saying at the time, use this. Like I say, some people don't use that common sense that you say everybody got, and we got to make decisions. They want to get us all the time, man. That's all they do. That's why they keep us locked up in. All we know is violence. Do the job in silence. Walk the city streets like a rat pack of tyrants. Too many brothers, daily headed for the big pen. Niggas coming out worse off than when they went in. That's Tupac back in 92. Put that out there. Ain't nothing changed. But you got to know that's what they do. And you got to use your mind sometimes, man, and use that common sense that God gave us to use.
Right. Well, that's a beautiful thing, man, that you had the foresight to not engage or get caught up in a culture that was created for us at the time. I mean, some people had the ability to do that. I mean, academically in school, I probably can say, well, you did pretty good for yourself academically in school.
I got out of school. I mean,
right.
I graduated.
But we had a lot of brothers and sisters that didn't do, and you probably can remember some of our brothers and sisters that academically wasn't up to par.
I think something that's
right.
So that's choices also.
I'm saying no, not in all cases. Not in all cases. Well, in all cases, I mean, and I'm only saying this because I have intimate knowledge of what transpires in the homes of at-risk youth. Child could have been molested in their home back then. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't know it, but the child, he's coming to school every day. He's having a difficult time in school.
Reasons for everybody.
Right. So what I'm saying, so we got to factor all of that in. So we just can't say, oh, well, nah, he had choices, he had decisions.
No, we can't say he didn't.
No, we can't say he did or we can't say he didn't, but we have to take into consideration that we've come up in a system, man, that is adversely against us, that have created a culture of death, man, that's basically specifically designed for us. Others get caught up in it.
I agree 100%.
So, I mean, this is why I keep telling you, or when I mentioned to you about being a leader, and when you ask the question of where's the leaders, I mean, we have to be the leaders. I mean, you see with your all that foresight that you had back then, right?
And I think I shouted out to some of my brothers that foresight that I had back then.
But coupled with more knowledge, a greater degree of knowledge and understanding. With knowledge comes understanding. Man, it's imagine where you can be now. So I mean, and you still going or where God wants you to be.
And that's where I'm trying to go. Where
exactly.
God wants you to be.
So what I'm saying is, man, look, in a sense of urgency in a time that we're living in and what we see going on, you know, look, man, we gotta speed it up.
Yeah.
We gotta step out there, man.
But at the same time, if you telling me it's already written, it's already down, what's gonna happen? It's gonna happen.
Okay.
It's gonna happen.
Okay. Well, okay.
That's what you're telling me, right?
Let me explain that to you. Okay, yeah. If it's written, but prophecy or what's been written is conditional.
Okay.
Prophecy can be beat. So God say do A, B, and C. And if you don't do A, B, and C, you're not going to make it to your destination. And you choose to do D, E, and F. Right? You make a choice. But you got A, B, and C. Choices, right? You got A, B, and C. Right? That's going to the instructions that's coming from
break it down to our people.
The instructions that's coming from the God that's going to bring you salvation or bring you life. But if you do this, because God only gives us one commandment, it's obey my will. That's the only thing that when God gave a commandment to Adam and Eve and the God. This biblical. So anybody that's conic, I can come canonically too, but it's the same thing, same principle. Don't eat of this tree. Mm-hmm. Don't eat of the fruit of this tree. That was the only instruction.
That was it, huh?
That was it. So that instruction becomes what? Obey me. Obey me. That's God's religion. So if you obey me, then you'll have life. This Christian terminology. And life more abundantly. But if you don't do that, you're going to have death. And that's where we are today. So we're in a culture that's a manufactured culture that's been created by an enemy of ours. It's a manufactured culture. It's a culture of death. You see it in our music. You ask about leaders. Yes, we have leaders. But we're leading in degeneracy. We're leading in the devil's machinations and plans the world over. He has used us and created a manufactured culture, and it has exported this manufactured culture of death around the world. That's what we see.
True that. And when I speak of leaders, I know we have people leading people in the wrong direction. But that's when I'm speaking of leaders, I'm talking about the ones leading in positive. That's the ones I'm looking for, the ones that's leading us positively. So, we definitely got leaders going in the wrong direction. All of that nonsense that's out there is just teaching our young kids negativity. Everything they're doing is out there.
But again, it's going back to what I said. It's ideas. It's ideologies. It's philosophies. Our minds have been captured. We have a formed mind. Our minds have been captured by our enemy. And the minister identified the enemy. Some of our enemies. The CIA, the FBI.
But this is what I'm saying. We don't have the leaders to get us past that. And we spoke with Minister Farrakhan, and I said to the fact that Farrakhan's a leader, but and I said, I think that we said this on the project. I don't know if we talked afterwards about Farrakhan, them being scared of Farrakhan. And he was like, I say, yeah, they're scared of Farrakhan, but they're not scared away because he doesn't have the black people doing what we need to do to rise up. Now, I thought about this the other day. You know, when I could say, when I feel they was shaking in their boots, when they was shaking in their boots about him,
Right.
that Million Man March.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. When he got that together and he brought that, that's when they started opening their eyes and saying they got to watch this dude. That's when they started shaking in their boots. But what happened after that?
No.
What happened after that? Niggas
now,
fell back to doing the same old that they did. So, we ain't got to be that scary. Then they could relax a little bit, and then they sit back. Then they sit back. Oh, they got together, had a party one day, talk real breeze. Nah, this is what I'm saying. They said that's the people that want. That's what I'm saying. They said. So now, okay, we just gotta watch them over there. He ain't got them together. They ain't coming up. They ain't getting together. What it looked like was going to happen. It's supposed to happen.
That's not. Well, the enemy became afraid of Minister Farrakhan not in 95.
I'm not saying, I'm saying that's when they was most. I'm saying that's when they was most. That's my feeling. That's when they was most afraid. Was in that Million Man March. That's what I feel.
Right. But actually, it was 84. I mean, I would probably say 81, but 84 is when he became persona non grata to us as a people. And it became that way as a result of his support for Jesse Jackson, who was running for president at the time in 84. But in 95...
Didn't Jesse step away from him?
Did Jesse step? Well, in time, yeah, I mean, I won't say that he stepped away from. It was just like all the rest of them. He was forced to. He was forced to.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. He was like, he went, I mean, I guess
it's just like anybody else. I mean, here it is, a man that basically stood for you when jokes was talking about killing you, because you wanted to become president of America.
So bad. That's what I'm saying when
I
say solid.
So, right. And Mr. Farrakhan is solid.
Exactly.
And has been solid.
Exactly. And that's what I say. That's what the dude I'm staying with. That's solid.
Right.
I ain't gonna,
yeah.
That's why Jesse. I was done with that a long time ago.
And see, you said that.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that way?
What you mean?
Why do you feel that?
That Jesse.
Well, that's like a rhetorical question, so to speak. No, you feel that way. You're not the only one that feels it. It's a lot of our people feel that way. And I'm saying you feel that way. You may not know it because of what he did, his mistreatment of Minister Farrakhan and what he did. So he's alienated now from our people. He was forced to, I mean, like they all are. They all got handlers, man. That's when I said our reality is not their reality. Man, look, they have been given nearness to the enemy. They've been given wealth. And they're comfortable with that. And they're being controlled by way of that. That's just the bottom line.
A lot of, that's what a lot of us do. And I'm not even talking about just us. A lot of us sell our soul to get these things, these riches, or this power and all this stuff. And that's I can't ride with a joke any person like that. So, and that's what I try with this entertainment field. I try to tell people now, or think, and stop looking at that glitz and glamour that you see on TV and trying to be. That's the devil's work they doing out there for the
That's
people,
they
man.
make it attractive.
Yeah, it make it look real good on TV.
Right.
It look real good. But once you get in there, man, you in there in some whole nother mood. And a lot of it's coming out now. It's popping out. We hearing about all certain people who all danced around the stage and looked and made y'all feel a certain type of way. But a lot more gonna come out.
Absolutely.
A lot more gonna come out.
And you know what? This all has something to do with the war that you was talking about. Because it's time for it to come out. It's time for all truth to come out. Man, it's gonna come out.
I
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's definitely coming out.
And right now, I mean, in the war that I'm referring to, I mean, this is a good segue into what I'm about to say, because in 84 was an escalation point in the war in 84. So I'm telling you, I left off with telling you about, and your listeners, about a promise that God had made in Genesis 15:12 with Abraham, that his seed would be carried to a strange land that is not theirs, and would serve and be afflicted by the people of this land for 400 years. And God said after the 400 years that he would come, he would judge the righteous, and the righteous come out with great substance. I don't have to prove that to you. I don't think I have to prove to your followers that we are the fulfillment of that. So when we fulfill that, anyone that comes to inform us that, hey, that's you, that's us, becomes an enemy to those that run the world, because with that knowledge, having knowledge of that does what? Knowing that we are God's chosen people, now I have to respect you as one of God's people. So having the knowledge of that, having the knowledge, man, that, hey, man, look, once we endure and come through what we have been going through for 4 centuries, we coming out on top on the other side.
How we get that through to our people, Darryl?
We have to teach them. So, and when I say we have to teach them, we can't teach them if we don't know nothing. That's why I'm encouraging you to go and expand on that which you already know. We gotta have knowledge. That's what the prophet Hosea said. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. See, it's what we don't know that's destroying us. The fact that we don't know that war has been declared on us, and we don't even know that war has been declared on us. We have to know that. If you don't know nothing else, we have to know that. And see, this is important. This is very important because it leads to the Million Man March.
Okay.
See, I know this because Mr. Farrakhan told me this. He taught me this. And from studying on the things that he has made us aware of, that's how I became aware of the book, The New World Order. The minister talked about these people, and I saw the book. I saw New World Order. He did a subject on New World Order. I went and I studied and I learned about these people. So now I can tell people about the New World Order and some of their plans.
Okay, so that's why you need your platform to do that.
Well, my platform is wherever I am. I mean, of course,
you can get a bigger platform. If you want to talk about teachers and leadership, right, you can get a bigger platform. But we're not going to speak on us, man.
Right. But that water, let me deal with that water.
Okay.
Because it's important for understanding why the minister called the war. See, a lot of people take the position, because I heard some of what you was just saying. Man, okay, after the war, after the Million Man March, what happened? Now what? Ain't nothing happened after the Million Man March. The Million Man March, I even heard people say the Million Man March wasn't even successful.
Nah, I ain't never said it. I mean,
it's people that say that.
Okay,
see, but
big success. But anyway.
I mean, the question becomes then, okay, you said it wasn't successful. I mean, people can look and say, all right, well, this didn't happen. But in order for us to know whether it was successful or not, we would have to go to Minister Farrakhan. Because he called it. He convened it. And he convened it for a very specific reason. And that reason is he saw the enemy projecting the images of us as black people, black men more specifically at the time, as criminals, killers, robbers, murderers. And he felt and believed that they, being our enemy, was about to make a move on us. He stated at the time, I don't know if you remember what was going on in China, had a revolution going on in China in Tiananmen Square.
At that time of the march?
Yeah, and it was before the march. But this was an event that took place where Chinese rode over this Chinese citizen who was out there protesting or whatever with a tank. And he said that the American politicians didn't say anything about what occurred or transpired over in China. And he believed at the time, he said, man, look, they didn't say anything because they plan on doing the same thing over here. This was going on during the time you mentioned City Under Siege and all that. See, they're drumming up support for what they're about to do. And I'm saying all of this, and this is so pivotal and important because guess what? That was in 95. In 2023, they're doing the same thing again. But this time with our babies. Our babies, man. And I've heard Minister Farrakhan over the years say, man, that, look, we have to straighten up, man, because God is going to turn these vipers on us, man. He's going to turn the real killers on us if we don't straighten up and we continue killing the way that we're doing. And that's what he did, to Stop the Killing tour. But what's important is there are events. I'm hearing the same language that I heard back in 95 and before 95. The same thing now, man. And the events that's going on in our community is setting us up for justifiable homicide.
I can believe that. That's where we going. That's where we headed.
That's where we are. Right now, I mean, they're trying to figure out, man, what are we going to do with these youth? What are we going to do about the crime? DC businesses are starting to leave DC as a result of the crime. So you best believe you got business owners and policy makers, trying to decide, what policy are we going to institute to curb crime?
We got these kids now. What they doing? What they call it? The grab bag, where a group of youths get together and just go running in stores now, running stores and grabbing shit. So it's definitely getting worse, and you're gonna be saying it's gonna be all right to do what they gonna do to them if you just running wild like that.
But that's the reason for putting that stuff up. There's crime going on everywhere.
Yeah, I know that.
You know, and it's not only going on in our community, it's going on all over.
Oh, it's shown all over. That type of stuff is shown all over. That's what's making it even worse, that it's saying it's going on. They doing this up in LA and in Beverly Hills areas and shit like in places like that in the area. They going up in there, running in there.
Because the American people are struggling. You know, one aspect of the war is against us, but another aspect of the war is it's a war against the American people. The American people don't even know. Hence, all of this division. They're actually moving the chess pieces to create civil war. They moving us towards civil war. They directing that, man.
Oh, I can see that.
And they showing it.
Yeah.
On TV. So people are being controlled, manipulated, man. I mean, it's really diabolical, man, what they're doing.
True that.
You know,
you see it everywhere.
Yeah,
in every form. That's what I'm saying. In every form. That's why we say it's in entertainment. It's in everything. You know, they making it's so derogatory, making young women now don't even think respect themselves. It's a thing not to respect yourself as a young woman. Showing your body, women going outside,
right,
nude almost.
Yeah. So in the Quran it says it like this: Satan or the devil makes evil fair seeming. Makes evil fair seeming. Nah, that's all right. Stuff that wasn't all right to do when we came up is all right to do now.
All right, man.
You know, because I mean, this is not no abracadabra, hocus pocus type thing. So this is a war, but it's on a spiritual level. It's on a mental level.
True that, D. Well, I'm gonna let you bring it to a close. Go ahead if you want to finish up on something. We can ready to break this down.
Well,
so
I mean,
close it
basically, man. With that said, I mean that's the most important information that I can convey at this time, man. That hey, man, we at war, and I mean the war is being fought on many different facets, many different fronts, and we have to do what we have to do to protect ourselves. And
what would that be? What would you tell the average American person that's listening? What should they do? Start doing or do right now? That's can help themselves right now.
Well. First and foremost, I'm gonna have to give the advice that was given to us biblically: to put on the whole armor of God. Put on your helmet. Your helmet is what? The helmet is that which protects your mind, that which protects your head. Protect the information that you're putting here. Stop feeding off of, as Tony say, Hollywood productions, Hollywood music. It's a manufactured culture. It talks about the scripture talks about a breastplate. What's a breastplate? A breastplate is that protects what? Protects your heart. Turn to the God, man. That's the only thing that's gonna get us through this. I don't care about what name you call him. We're gonna have to gird up our loins, get up out there on the front line, because our generation has to take responsibility for what's going on now. We dropped the ball. Basically, that's the information that I can convey right now, and it's of vital importance.
All right, that's my man, Brother Daryl. Trying to uplift y'all, give y'all some knowledge. Take heed, and appreciate y'all. Check us out. We'll be right back at you next week. Don't forget, subscribe, like, send a comment, shoot a comment as positive, negative, anything. We're going to respond to it and give you a little bit more about whatever we was talking about. So we'll hit you up next time. My man, we out.
Peace.